What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I got some hot, steamy news for you concerning Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, moments ago, was just live on ESPN First Take, one of America's biggest sports shows, and stated what he did and what he posted on Twitter. Hey, I'll fight any of you guys, but I want Deontay. I've booked 2 dates back to back, one in September, another one in April. I want to fight you in April. Let's make that fight happen. What more do I need to do? What more do I need to say to get this fight done? Of course, Max Kellerman was like, well, what about Tyson Fury? Tyson Fury was like, look, I'm not talking about Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury holds no belts. I want the belts. And he was like, well, the lineal champion is the lineal champion. And, Anthony Joshua was like, well, when I came up, I didn't hear about lineal champions. I heard about the WBA, the IBF, the WBO, and the WBC. That's what I heard of. I didn't hear about the lineal champion. Now, if Tyson Fury wants it, he can have it too. I'm sorry, I don't have all the bling bling around my neck talking about numbers. That's not my style. But if the guys want to fight, let's fight. Let's get it on. And that is the style of a businessman. This is about business. That's exactly what he said. He said, I'm here to do business. If these guys want to get into the ring, sign the contract, fight me. You know what I mean? And it just makes so much sense because, you have one person on this side of the pond, Deontay Wilder, talking about how scared and how much of a coward that AJ is. But now this man has came to this country, got on this talk show, right? And basically called you out in your own country. The same shit you claimed to do while you was doing your promotion for your quote-unquote cherry pick with Tyson Fury in Great Britain on Good Morning Great Britain, right? And everybody was like, damn, what is Anthony Joshua? I was like that too. Dude, you got to do something. You got to respond. Okay, he's responded. He's responded on ESPN First Take with Max Kellerman and company, stating like, hey, the date, the venue, the time, it's set, right? Wasn't that the problem why they didn't take the last fight, the last negotiations? There's no date, there's no venue, right? They didn't have a date and venue for the damn Tyson Fury fight, but they made that shit happen, kicking and screaming. That shit was going to be made no matter what, right? But all of a sudden, there's no date, no venue. You couldn't make that fight happen. Oh, by the way, the biggest fight that you can possibly be made at the time. And you motherfuckers couldn't even sell out the Staples Center. Yeah, it was packed in there. I think it was a lot more than you give it credit for. I'm not downing that. But what I am saying, this is a much bigger fight. And if Deontay doesn't take this fight and he's consistent on, I'm going to give Fury a chance. Fury deserved a chance. Like he grants people opportunities. You see what I'm saying? That's that A-side wannabe shit. Again, that's all it is. That's that Mayweather wannabe. I want to be like Mayweather. Like May. I want to be like May. No, you're not. Because it's too many times it's happened. I've seen the patterns. To Povetkin, to Joshua, Povetkin, Klitschko. All these were big fights. Multi-million high-dollar paydays that Deontay somehow didn't. Them fights never got made. It was always some weird shit. It's always a complication. It's always this. It's always that. And then people want to say, poor Deontay Wilder. No, you can't say poor Deontay Wilder. Because now Deontay Wilder has stepped out and spoke so much shit, has talked so much by calling this man names, calling him coward, calling him scared, called him in his own country one of the biggest morning shows in Britain, Good Morning Britain, right? Has went on to say that. All this stuff that I just mentioned, he said all that on British television. Okay, now Anthony Joshua's come over here and has checkmated your ass. Checkmate. What are you going to do now, Deontay? You're so big about social media. And like Joshua said, well, hey, I'm sorry I'm not on social media talking about numbers and talking a bunch of shit. You know what I mean? I do say what I say. I just finished a video, that I will probably post after this one. But it's with, being a businessman and making decisions, business decisions. Not just talking shit over the social media. or whoever had listened, just to build your profiles, because of people are listening to you for once in your life, probably, you know. So what are you going to do now? See, this is the thing you ask yourself. You can't talk about Fury too much. Yes, he has Fury problems, Deontay does, because a lot of people, including myself, don't think he beat Fury. Let's be real. It was a cherry pick that went wrong. He thought that he was going to steamroll over Fury, and then, and only then, the Joshua fight is right around the corner, right? So I get two. I get a pay-per-view debut, then I get a big-ass payday, because they're going to pay me after I get out of that Fury fight, right? That's what he was thinking. And the shit ended in a draw. So guess what, though? Tyson Fury has said out of his own mouth, he has said that, hey, if I beat Deontay Wilder, which a lot of people think he did, I will let him go and fight Anthony Joshua. And it's better now that it is a particular draw, because no one really loses face, right? Not really. You know what I mean? Because Deontay's O is still intact, since he wants to be Mayweather so bad, because that's Mayweather's, blueprint, with the O, you keep the O, you always be marketable and all that shit, right? So you have that. You still have that O. While you still have the motherfucker, you better make the fight. Because if you don't make this fight, you let a man from another country come over to your country, and on the biggest networks that sports, ESPN, First Take, dude, that's millions of people watch that. When I saw it, I was like, oh shit. Oh, the man has spoken. Fight me. He's basically outside your house. Hey, you gonna fight? You gonna get in this ring? What you gonna do? I'm over here. What you gonna do? No, I ain't got nobody with me. There's no cameras, none of that shit. It's just you and me. It's like Rocky V, right? So this is because we know the demeanor of Anthony Joshua. Tranquil, preserved, reserved. Now he has came out. Because see, it's time for him to get a fight. I know what's up. And he wants bigger fights. Think about it. Anthony Joshua's not used to small, rinky-dinky ass fights. That's Deontay's motive. That's his norm. That's not Joshua's norm. Joshua's here. Deontay's Wilder's is like here, but he was down here compared to Joshua, right? So Anthony Joshua's looking for a big fight because that's what he expects. The Bravectin fight wasn't a small fight, dude. That was the fighter that Deontay should have fought. You know what I mean? His profile would have been a lot bigger, because that would have been a legitimate top 10 opponent that he actually fought up until that moment, that point, right? So no, Anthony Joshua's not accustomed to small fights. He's ready for the next big challenge. Come on, Klitschko. Then, before that, Martin. He took Martin's belt, knocked him out 2 rounds. Right? Then Klitschko. Then Parker. Parker had that belt, took that belt too. Takam. You know what I'm saying? A lot of fights. So it's all, he's keeping that status quo and he's not stopping now. But it's up to Deontay Wilder. It's up to him now. Because we know Deontay's demeanor, right? Deontay's demeanor is talk reckless, wild, talk a bunch of shit. You know what I mean? Social media, he uses that as his platform now. He's a coward. He's scared. I don't want to fight this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I want to fight him when he wanted to fight me, and yada, 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 yada. Okay? So we know what's expected of Deontay Wilder now. See, it's Deontay Wilder, because I know he saw this by now, and if he don't, he'll see it sometime today. And when he sees this video, it's up to him to respond. If he does not take this fight, guys, see, none of this bullshit. All these other channels and the Pro Wilder channels and all that, it's damage control, boxing egos, army, damage control. Bullshit. This is a direct call out on a direct date, a direct venue. You can't blame Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury already said, hey, I'll let him fight Joshua. He said that. So there's no problem there. You know what I mean? Now, if Deontay Wilder feels that he can't beat Anthony Joshua, he won't take the fight. But here's the thing. I don't think he really wanted to take the fight because of the money, because he wasn't sure that he would win anyway. See, that's what it boils down to, confidence. See, that 12.5 million wasn't enough for him to take an ass whooping in Great Britain. No, it wasn't. Not in his mind. Like, I could go over there and get my ass beat by this dude. And then what? Then he takes my belt like he took all those other belts from those other fighters. I.e., Martin and Parker. You know what I'm saying? Fought for Klitschko, knocked him out. Oh, another fighter you didn't want to fight. You see what I'm saying? So, no, man, it is definitely up to Deontay Wilder to make a direct response to Anthony Joshua. See, it's one thing, and I always thought of this, and I never said this, but I'm going to mention it now before I close. You hear Deontay Wilder talk so much shit about Anthony Joshua. So you've heard maybe 90% of the time Deontay was talking, right? Right? Well, this 10% of the time, Anthony Joshua's mentioned Deontay. This is very important. You never want to talk about a person when they're not there face to face. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to talk shit about someone when they're not around. That makes sense? And that's all Deontay's done. See, if he's not done anything that showed that he wanted to do anything, he's talked a bunch of shit. That's all he's done. Scared, coward, this, that. I wanted to fight. It was promised. I didn't get it. And they fought some. That's all he's done. He ain't said, I signed a contract. I waited for them. They ain't do nothing. They ain't none of that shit. None of that. He hasn't done anything action-wise but talk. But while he has been talking, where has Anthony Joshua been? Nowhere around. See, it's easy to talk about someone when they're not there. You know what I mean? That shows the integrity of a person. You know, that shows how much nuts you have. That shows, okay, say that in this person's face like you seen him in the night of the Klitschko fight. Tell him to his face you wanted to fight him. And he didn't do nothing of the sort, guys. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. Let that sink in, okay? But yeah, you tell me what you think about this video. I'll leave the link below, of course, so you guys can check out that interview yourselves. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been counterpunched. Peace.